Let's go. It's time. Put on play pants.
Okay, welcome in, everybody. Episode 49. Yes, he's Jason Ginty. My name is Rod Ryan. This is the Play Pants Podcast. You can check this out wherever you download podcasts. If you're watching us on YouTube, even a better bonus. You get to see these two handsome fellas duking it out for an hour and a half. And all the social media at Play Pants Pod. Okay, Jason, a couple things that I wanted to hit today.
Yeah, you're right.
Happy 420 to you. I know you're not a weed guy. I'm not really a weed guy. I'm weirded out by people that love weed so much, like that's all they have going on.
Yeah.
But I don't like anyone that only has one thing going on. I always like bag on craft beer guy. Like, I don't want to talk about craft beers with you. And then, you know, if you're like super sports guy, I feel like, okay, you know, I can hang with you for a little bit. But when somebody's like super duper weed guy, like I can't hang with you that long. You know, I'm just not there for the humor and to back up all your fun facts. And, you know, they always know things about weed that they want you to know. Like, you know, do you realize that nobody in the history of weed has ever overdosed on weed? I'm like, okay, great fun fact. Thank you. I'm out. That's all I need to know.
Great. That's awesome. Dude, I mean, like I've only smoked weed probably 4-5 times max in my lifetime. I just don't like smoke. I don't like any of that shit. I went to Amsterdam like 10 years ago with my wife, right? And I thought, okay, I'm in the Mecca. Let's get after it a little bit. Let's go smoke some weeds, right? Cruise into the coffee shop. And by the way, Amsterdam is fucking way more than just the weed shops. It's so great. It's a great place to go see if you get the chance. Cruise in there and I go up and you just go up to the counter. And I know nowadays there's medical marijuana and you just cruise in and buy all the shit you want. But back then it was like, okay, so dumb tourist guy who's never smoked weed goes up to the counter and goes, I want to get some weed. And they go, okay, what do you want? And they start like weed guy would go and they're running down all these flavors and strains and all these different kinds. And I just sit there looking at them going, dude, I just want to smoke a joint. They go, here. First time I go, yeah. They go, here, smoke these. These won't kill you. I go, okay, cool. Take them back.
But it's interesting you said that because like the weed that's out there now is like super duper weed.
Right. Strong.
I don't think that you and I could even handle a hit or two, let alone, I mean, back in the day, I think people used to like smoke a joint.
Yeah.
I don't think if you're not used to that, I don't think you could smoke this stuff now like that much.
No. So we're there. And my wife, she smoked a ton of weed in college and shit. So she's like, cool, but she hasn't done it in years. So we're sitting in this coffee shop in Amsterdam. And I'm like, all right, here we go. She's like, look, go slow. You're going to cough. You're going to be a dipshit. She explained the whole thing to me. I'm like, okay. So I started fucking smoking the weeds, right? And I'm like, okay, it's burning the shit out of my lungs. I hate that.
Yeah,
and then
I know.
I do what everyone does. I smoke it and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, now what? She goes, just chill out, relax, dude. Give it a minute.
Now what?
I start.
Now what? Let's go
hammering.
run.
I'm like, I start fucking sucking this thing down. I'm burning my fingers and I'm doing the whole thing and I'm hitting it. I'm going after it. And I'm like, this is dumb. What are we doing? This is stupid. Okay, now I know I don't need to smoke weed ever again. She's like, give it a fucking minute, will you? Fuck, dude. And just like 20 minutes later, I go to get up to take a piss. My whole
You're
body.
like, whoa.
Fucking, I felt like a slow motion chunk of lead, bro. And it
My
was.
hands felt like 2 balloons.
Yes, lead balloons. So she had fucking booked because Amsterdam's full of like all these canals, right? And you can take the boat cruises through these canals. So she had booked one like for like an hour after I'm smoking weed. Dude, I got on the fucking boat cruise and they're not cheap, right? Gone, fell asleep. I'm out. Missed the whole fucking cruise. Wake up.
Oh, what a guy. What a fun stoner.
Fucking wanted to eat so bad. I'm like, wow, all these fucking cliches are so true. And I hated it because I'm like, what the fuck is the point of this? I like the drunk buzz better than the weed. The weed buzz, I just felt like a chunk of lead, man. It was weird.
I haven't smoked in 20 years.
Minutes.
It's 25 years. It's long. You know what I mean? It's 25 years since I smoked weed. And I gotta admit, I'm a little weed curious right now.
Yes.
I am. I'm a little bit. So some friends of mine, and I do know some, and I know some weed people, and they're not like annoying weed people. They're just, you know, real respectful. I know that they smoke all the time. That's not all they talk about. They bring more to the table than their knowledge of weed. And did you know, did you know that, George Washington harvested weed? No, I don't care. I don't want to talk about weed. So I'm weed curious, and they know this of me now. They know that I'm a little weed curious. I would, and I said this all along, I would vote it in. I don't mind. You're the same way. We stay away from politics on this podcast, on the air, on the radio. I just don't want to get into it. I don't sit around and really talk about this with my friends either. But I would vote for weed to be legalized. I really do. And I wouldn't go run out and do it though either, but I would vote to have it legalized. Because I had some friends that got sick, and I'm not going to say any names, but, I helped get them some things, to help them a little bit more comfortable. And that's a whole nother story. But I believe in that. I really do. I believe in that. And I know that there's a difference between medicinal and recreational use, but I've invested in a weed company. It's not doing anything. It's really hasn't been a great investment. But if I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't have invested in it. But they know I'm curious, and they're kind of on me a little bit now. And it's always at a public deal. So golf tournament. Nope, not doing it. I'm not doing it around people. Astros opening day. Nope. I won't be around people. If we stay here and sit on my back porch and hang out, I would try it again, which has been over 25 years, whether it's an edible, and I get it. Like I would start really, really slow, or I don't really like smoking either. But I'm curious if I'm in a safe spot, and then maybe we can go walk. I got a bunch of bars around here. If I'm feeling okay, then we can go out. But I would never try it and go to a concert or something like that, because I would be paranoid.
Well, and my biggest fear, since I know shit all about it, and there's guys right now listening going, "You fucking pussies, just go get some." But that's fine. But I don't do it, and I'm a pussy because I got too much riding on so many other things that I don't want to fuck up either. I've thought about it recently too, because I'm like, man, I quit drinking like a year and a half ago. I haven't had a drink in literally a year and a half. So I got nothing going on. Coffee's my wild trip right now, man. And I keep thinking, maybe I would get some of them brownies. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I want to do that or not, but I keep thinking about, I'm weed curious myself.
You know who smokes weed? Trainers. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to say any names. Trainers smoke weed. There's no calories in it, dude. Now, I know that, there's the whole thing that comes with munchies and everything, but my problem is I drink, I drink, and that's not good for your midsection. It's not good for anything, but I enjoy it. So, yeah, all of these workout guys, they smoke weed.
Yeah. And if you get the munchies, you can eat healthy, right? You don't have to go get Funyuns.
I know. I think that's
technically
that's like a young blown out of proportion, sitting around eating Funyuns all day.
Right. But dude,
that's funny that you're weed curious as well. I'm curious, and I'm not throwing this out there. I'm not asking for people to email me. Hey, I got a guy. I don't need a guy. If I can get a guy.
Don't start shipping me fucking brownies right now either, man. I don't need a bunch of fucking brownies. Here's my problem. I'm such a nerdy freak that I don't trust anybody. Like someone says, here, eat this. Fuck you. No way.
Yeah.
I can't do that, because if it's really strong, I'm going to be off on Mars for a while. And I got enough wild shit going on in my head daily. I want to go real easy. I want someone to hold my hand. You know what I mean? Get in the shallow end.
The last time I tried to do something is... Dude, Woodstock 99. It was rave night, and it was Moby and Fatboy Slim and then somebody else in the airplane hangar, and it was late at night.
Nice.
And it was just one of the it was one of the crazy things going on at that wild Woodstock 99. So I'm there with my team because I'm the program director, and I'm like, okay, there was a guy selling Rice Krispie treats. Now, they were supposed to be Rice Krispie treats, so they were like $20 a piece. So I bought everybody a Rice Krispie treat. Now, the guy never really said specifically what was in there. I don't really remember the instructions. I think he just said here, and they're $20 and whatever. Dude, I'm like, okay, you watch me, I'll watch you, you watch you, blah, blah, that. So I buy everybody Rice Krispie treats. A fucking $120. Half hour later, nothing's hitting, nothing. Dude, I bought Rice Krispie treats with nothing in it at a rave. Nobody got anything off of anything. That guy took my money.
That's pretty smart, actually.
They should have cost $1.50 a square, and I bought them for $20 a square, cash money on the spot. You think I could find that douchebag? No, the place was packed. He probably ripped off another 100 people. He had a backpack full of Rice Krispie treats. Brilliant.
You know, the overhead on that is like $8. He made so much money that night.
Nothing happened. I'm like, dude, you good? You good? You good? I think I might feel no. You feel nothing? Anything? So that was the last time I tried to do something and I was unsuccessful at it. So it's been before 99 since I've had any of that. I know I think I had a second contact high. We did a show with, and I was sitting right in the front, and it was 311 Cypress Hill.
Oh, Jesus.
Sublime with Rome. I mean, it was just weed band after weed band. And I know that I definitely got a contact high after that. And that I did feel a little loopy, but I was drinking too. Right.
See, and my thing is, look, I if this fucking happens, it was born out of this moment right here on the Weed Curious Boys. I've been thinking for the last couple of weeks, like, look, man, you know, like Mardi Gras and Jazz Fest are two different worlds, right? Like Mardi Gras is all the colors and the crazy and the parades, and it's just fun. You don't need to do anything. Your activity, you're busy during Mardi Gras, okay? You're catching beads, you're trying not to get hit in the face with a football or a hula hoop or anything like that, right? You're busy. Jazz Fest, what do? We stand around fucking waiting for bands to come on, shooting the shit and chugging about $900 worth of beers.
Yes.
That's when I would get my brownies, dude. Jazz Fest. Being at a Jazz Fest, fucking eating a little Rice Krispie treat.
Again, for me, it's too many people. It's too much.
And if you get the wrong dosage or something.
Correct. And that's what I need to figure out. Okay, what am I like with this situation? I need to be on my back porch in a very safe space with just very limited people.
Correct.
And then I would be open to trying something. Other than that, I gotta wait. It's just not my time. It's not something that I don't really think about it all that often either, because I'm fine with a couple of beers. Now, if I was you and if I wasn't drinking any beers, I mean, not that I need to, have a mood altering substance in my system, but I mean, weed people seem pretty happy. I mean, they're pretty damn happy.
You know what's great? All my life, right? Radio, you work in radio, everyone thinks you're doing fucking drugs all the time. Apparently, everyone has always assumed I've always smoked weed my entire life. They're like, you don't smoke weed? I'm like, no. Oh, I had you totally pegged as a weed guy. I'm like, really?
You kind of have that homeless weed smoker thing, shabby chic look going on.
I'm like, really? Everyone thinks I fucking am a pothead. I like 5 times max, and I might be giving myself an extra one on that deal. That's crazy. That's wild. Yeah, dude. So I was thinking maybe Jazz Fest wouldn't be so bad, but I won't do it because I'm like you. I'm a pussy, and I won't. I want to be in the backyard chilling out with some friends. Someone who's like, look, dude, this brownie's got barely anything in it. You're gonna be fine. Relax. Don't be a wimp. And then sky's the limit. After that, let's go get some. But God damn it, now I'm weed curious. Or more curious. I can't believe we've been thinking about the same shit. That's funny.
Happy 420, everybody. It is 420 on the day that we are recording this. Just real quick, you don't have to give a whole book report on it, but this weekend in New Orleans is French Quarter Fest. We've talked about Jazz Fest. We've talked about Mardi Gras. Give somebody that's listening just another reason to visit New Orleans. Give us the Sports Center edition of what French Quarter Fest is.
French Quarter Fest has grown every year in the last 20 years. It's they put stages, and this is crazy, but go with me. They'll put stages up and down Royal Street, up and down Bourbon Street, not in the craziest part of Bourbon Street, but down other areas of Bourbon Street. There'll be small stages, and there'll be a jazz band playing there. There'll be a guy with a washboard band playing there. There'll be a guy with a brass band playing. And I don't know exactly how many stages are all over the French Quarter, but it's probably 25, 30 stages. And it's free. You walk around, you got your drinks, you're in the quarter, you're drinking, you're going to the restaurants, you're going to the bars, you're in and out. But then there's these fucking stages everywhere. And New Orleans is full of great musicians. So everything is awesome. It may not be your style of music, but you're watching these performers play and they can play. You know how New Orleans musicians are. They can't suck or you get thrown out of town.
Correct.
You know? And then they put like bigger stages up along the river. And then that's where like, and even that is not national headliners and most people would know them, but it's just this massive hundreds of thousands of people pour into the French Quarter for this weekend to just cruise around, eat, drink. And the food's amazing because there's all kinds of food vendors all over Jackson Square in the middle by the cathedral. In fact, they got the tents all set up. They're getting set up right now. And you just cruise down and there's just fucking people everywhere. And it's awesome. Whether you like that style of music doesn't matter because you will like it. And people are dancing in the streets. It's just a street party. It's just it's a weekend in New Orleans. It's just amped up a little bit more than normal. And we like to think of it as like the opening act for the next 2 weekends, which are 2 weekends of Jazz Fest. So this is the pump primer, I guess, if you will. And it's awesome. It's totally fucking awesome. And by the way, I was going to ask you, I may be cruising by your place.
Well, yeah, that's what it's there for.
Right. So I may be using that this weekend. I figured I'd wait till the middle of the podcast, so you couldn't really turn me down. But yeah, no, the Quarter's great, dude. And when people come here, it is fucking so cool because
it's a lot of locals down in the French Quarter. It's a big difference because the French Quarter is really just known as like it's the tourist, it's the crown jewel of the city of New Orleans, and it's it's everything for the tourists. But this is something because when you live there, a lot of locals don't go down to the French Quarter. And it's just because you just get this thing where, that's where tourists go. And this was created to get locals back down to the Quarter. And it really is, a gift back to everybody. But then it became such a cool thing that people started flying in for it and they liked that better than everything else.
Right.
And that became another great destination and another great thing. So it's a great mix of locals and people from out of state.
And they've got guys like teaching, like you'll walk down the street and down by the French Market, they always have a stage where they're playing like big band stuff. They bust out all that crazy shit. So people are big band dancing, triple Lindy's or whatever the fuck it is, those dance moves out in the street. And there's a bunch, you'd be surprised. And people are like fucking swinging around. Like, I didn't know that many people knew how to dance like that, first of all. And that's just going on at one stage. And then you got a jazz band swinging down. Then you get these old guys, they prop up and they can barely stand up and they're playing this kick-ass jazz. So it's just everything up and down the streets. If you never been to New Orleans, this is another great reason to show up because it's really a lot of fun. I'll be down there this weekend. In fact, check this out, dude. You'll dig this shit. My son's playing. Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. I know he's playing Jazz Fest. He's playing French Quarter Fest?
He is. He's in this group that it's a school basically, and it's a foundation put on by Jazz Fest. So when you go to Jazz Fest, you spend that money on your tickets and your beers. They invest, and people don't realize this, but they invest a lot of money into a lot of local programs. So all these great musicians, they want to reinvest in the youth so that Jazz Fest goes on forever. Jazz music continues to go on forever. So he's actually going to be performing on stage with the school band that they've put together and jamming some jazz tunes. And then that'll be this weekend. And he's playing the second weekend in Jazz Fest too. So,
God, it's amazing.
I mean, the kids, I got a kid who's going to be playing French Quarter Fest. Dude, that's freaking awesome. If you're a New Orleanian and you get it, it's so bad. He's nervous like a cat.
Oh, he's going to do great. Well, that's French Quarter Fest. I know that's not something that we talk about much on this podcast, but it is another great reason to go to New Orleans. As we get into the summer, hopefully Red Dress Run is coming back. We'll tell you about that. I always go in for that one. And awesome. London and I will be coming in for the first weekend of Jazz Fest. So I'm taking my kid to go see The Who. So we can talk about that next week, but I am coming in for Jazz Fest.
Dude, it's going to be great.
I'm going to read an email coming up, and he has actually suggested, I didn't think he'd get weirder than our Hall & Oates top 5, but he suggested another top 5, which will be interesting. And I think it'll bring up some good points to talk about. But before I get into that email, I wanted to get your take on the stuff that's going on with Van Halen. I guess if somebody that's listening or watching and you haven't heard what's going on, Jason Newsted, the longtime bass player who was in Metallica before Robert Trujillo, totally out of the blue, said that he was approached by Alex Van Halen of possibly doing some kind of a Van Halen / Eddie tribute. it was kind of wishy-washy. Was it a one-off show? Was it going to go out on the road? Were they going to just, were they going to do like a cover thing, something in Vegas? Have no idea. But Jason Newsted came out of nowhere with this. I kind of dusted it off. And then Joe Satriani came on in an interview talking about his new album and said, yeah, we weren't really going to talk about this, but Jason's not lying. Alex called me, meaning this is Joe Satriani now. And he went out there because I think Jason went out there too. Now, Jason, when he told his story, he said, listen, no disrespect. Love everything about this. I just don't think that this is either for me or this is going to be a proper respect because he loves Van Halen.
Right.
Now, where they picked Jason Newsted for a bass player, that seems like completely throwing a dartboard at the wall. But Joe Satriani backed him up and said, yeah. He said, I don't know why he said anything about it because it was understood that we weren't going to talk about it. And if you know anything about the Van Halens with that last name, they are so tight-lipped. They are so secretive about everything. I mean, right. Alex too, but Joe said that they were talking and they don't know if anything's going to get off the ground. Obviously, Joe Satriani is one of the world's greatest guitar players. So he's not Eddie, but if you're looking for somebody that could, hold their own, then David Lee Roth chimes in, not even saying that he was associated with what they were talking about.
Right.
But then he just threw out his 2 cents because he's David Lee Roth. And apparently, like I said, don't believe anybody when they say they're retiring. He made it sound like he would be involved. And he threw out the name Steve Lukather, meaning that they would need a couple of guitar players and they would need a couple of bass players. He said they would need 2 people at every position. You're the biggest Van Halen fan I know. What do you make of any of this?
After the last couple of years, I kind of was like, okay, well, I think the window is kind of closing on sort of a tribute to Eddie Van Halen, because he passed away. It's been a couple of years now. If they were going to do something and I thought, okay, here's what they can do. Because you know what, for anyone's going to get involved, Wolfgang has to be involved, the kid. He has to. Okay.
And just so back up. So everything that I said, I kind of laid the groundwork for all of this. Wolfgang's name was never fucking brought up once.
It'll never happen.
Not even once. Now, David Lee Roth did bring up Michael Anthony. But no one else said anything about Michael Anthony. Even, why are you calling Jason? Why aren't you calling Michael Anthony? Yeah, so go ahead. He's Wolfgang, of course, Wolfgang would have to be involved.
Well, he would spearhead the whole thing. He drove the bus when Van Halen got back together with Roth that last time, put out that last album. That was all. Wolfgang was making the set list every night. They're busting out some crazy old songs. He had to teach his dad how to play these old songs because Eddie's like, I fucking don't remember how to play this. I wrote it. I don't remember how to play it. How do we do this? So Wolfgang was driving the bus on the band at that point. He'd have to get involved. I was hoping that at some point they would just go, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get all our guitar buddies out there, all the shredders that want to come up and shred a song. Great. You could weave in Roth and Hagar and just kind of have them weave in and out throughout one night.
Like the Chris Cornell tribute.
That's all it is. You bring in Miley Cyrus to sing a song. I don't give a shit how it happens, but then you got all these bands. And then you could have had like the guys from the Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl could have come up and played. And you could have had a lot of weird things, all playing Van Halen songs, all jamming. Make it a storytellers, basically. Get up and tell stories. Here's what Eddie meant to me, and then you rip through one of the songs. How cool would that have been? Where is Alex? Give him my number, will you? Because I got an idea for this. I got all worked out.
But what?
This Jason Newsted and Joe Satriani, I get Joe Satriani. That makes sense. He's a huge Eddie Van Halen fan. He can play it. I get it.
But can I just add one other layer to this? Joe Satriani is in a band called Chickenfoot with Sammy Hagar. With Chad on drums and Michael Anthony on bass. So he's already technically in a band with Michael Anthony, and nobody said anything about Michael Anthony. I don't know I'm assuming that whatever Eddie felt, Alex felt.
Right.
So if there is a falling out, if Ed died and he died, holding a grudge against Michael Anthony, his bro will back his play on that till he goes in the ground.
Right.
So this is me just trying to speculate because these Van Halens, you cannot figure them out. But Joe Satriani is probably super pals with Michael Anthony, and his name wasn't mentioned.
One of the nicest guys in rock. One of the nicest dudes in rock too. Michael Anthony is
Michael Anthony, sure.
So super awesome dude. Everyone loves the guy. Who knows? I don't know. You think he'd be involved because he can still play the bass pretty well. He's out touring with Sammy Hagar right now. I mean,
and he can still do those backing vocals.
He's doing it every night that he tours with Sammy.
But his name was not even mentioned, which makes it even weirder.
I don't know. I don't know what they were planning. I wish they would have done something or hopefully do something, but it just feels like it's going to be a shit show if they do something. You know what I mean? Just by the way this is being handled. Why do we know about this? Because Jason Newsted said something. Well, why?
We would have never, ever known anything because Joe Satriani definitely, in the way that he worded it, he didn't throw him under the bus. He just said, we kind of said we weren't going to say anything. So I don't know how Jason Newsted let this slip out. And I almost thought for a minute, and I like him. I thought Jason was a great bass player.
Yeah.
And I just thought he was a cool guy with a bunch of interviews that I've seen of him. And I'm like, there's no way he's lying. I just, I don't know him, but there's no way he's lying. But then when Satriani backed up his play and said, yeah, he's not lying, but we weren't supposed to be talking about this, kind of leads me to believe that it's a good thing he said he was out, because I think he would be forced out.
Now he would be, yeah, for sure.
But he said that he didn't, but he just said he went out there and he said something didn't feel right about it.
He said it was like, that would be weird. I have way too much respect for the band. I don't feel like I could give them what it needs to be. Like you said, it just doesn't feel right. So he tapped out. Cool. Then why are you fucking talking about it, bro? Shut up. Don't say a word.
It would be weird because there are two living bass players on this planet that were in Van Halen.
Yeah, talking to one of them.
and you're not one of them, and you're at Alex Van Halen's house.
Yeah.
Like, dude, there's two bass players floating around. Why am I here?
One of them with the same last name. One with the same last name.
Correct. But that's what he kind of made it sound like. I'm not your guy. You want their numbers? I got both of them.
I mean, we're trying to piece this together. I hope, and then of course Roth chimes in because he just loves to chime in and say dumb shit.
I don't think, I didn't see his name mentioned at all until he mentioned his name in classic Roth style.
Well,
what you do here is,
you know what you want to wait for? Sammy Hagar to say something. Sam is always going to play it even keel down the middle. He's gonna be like, I've never been contacted, or I have, and I'm up for it. But Mikey's gonna have to play bass. He's never gonna leave Michael Anthony's side. They're BFFs. They hang. So wait till Sam comes out with something. I call him Sam, not Sammy, because we're tight. I met him once. Did I tell you that story?
No, you never talked about meeting Van Halen on this show ever, on this podcast. Did you meet 12 episodes?
Yeah, I did one time, a long time ago. It was really cool. It was awesome, actually. It was pretty awesome. Fucking Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen.
Anybody put their hand on your shoulder?
Right on. Oh, you have heard this story.
What happened?
I met him. So we're tight now. Is that how that works? You meet him one time?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think how that works.
So
you're not holding your breath, nor should you be, nor am I.
I don't care.
It's weird, right? It's weird.
It's weird. And at this point, here's how I look at it. We all know that David Lee Roth can't sing for shit. Okay, we got it. Michael Anthony can still sing and play the bass. Sammy Hagar can still sing his ass off. Can Alex still play the drums like Alex Van Halen? He's 70-something years old. I would hope he can. If he's putting this together, he knows he can.
Yeah, he can still. I bet you he can still play his ass off.
You know what you need? You need Wolfgang Van Halen in the band. You need Michael Anthony in the band. You need Sammy. You need Dave. You need Alex. Bring in a couple of wing nuts to just rock and roll from time to time.
For some reason, Roth said you need two people at each position. So he mentioned Steve Lukather. as the other guitar player. Like you would need two people to take Eddie's shoes, which is okay. I mean, Steve Lukather, I don't know a whole lot about him. I know that he's the one that played all the guitar on Beat It, except for the solo.
Right.
So Steve Lukather had to let Eddie come in and do a solo on top of what he had been working on,
Yeah.
but Michael gets what Michael wants. I mean, I know he's a wicked, amazing guitar player. And then Roth, again, I think he's just shooting shit off the top of it, but he said you would need Alex and you would need like a Tommy Lee up there. He said you need two people at every position.
But see, now it's starting to get weird because I don't want to see Tommy Lee playing Van Halen songs. I want to see Alex Van Halen. I want to see the closest thing to Van Halen without Eddie. Put those boys up there and then swing in a bunch of guitar players, maybe throw a bass player. I don't know. No. It's Michael Anthony. It's Roth Hagar. It's Alex. And then you just tribute. But that would be hard. Think about being in the band and then you don't have your guy who was the guy sitting over there. So how do you play?
Whatever Eddie's reason for not, I mean, we all know Eddie's reason. He wanted his son in the band. He wanted to jam with his kid.
Right.
I just don't see Alex going against his bro.
Right.
And doing something with Michael Anthony. He's aligned with his brother. And if his bro didn't call Michael Anthony, he's not going to call Michael Anthony. That's what I think.
But you know what? I do. And again, I am not going to go look it up now because lazy. But I remember Michael Anthony, after Eddie died, saying that he kind of has had conversations with Alex over the years, even though he never was in the band. He had conversations with him. So I don't know if it was still a hatred thing or what. I don't know. We're speculating the shit out of this thing. If it happens, I hope they do it right. And if it's going to happen and Wolfgang's involved, I think it'll be handled properly. With Roth, man, you got to control that guy. Or else it'll be a shit show. He's going to bring in fucking all these other guys. It's like, who gives a shit? I don't care about that. I can go see Tommy Lee play with Motley Crue. I don't care.
Let Roth MC the thing and tell stories in between. Just don't let him sing.
Perfect. Actually,
I want him to have him a part of it. Have him out there, jazz hands. He could do a couple of kicks, whip out the sword, but don't sing anything. Just MC the thing like a ringleader and just be in between the songs.
Yeah.
Don't sing. Whatever you do, don't sing.
And then that way it doesn't feel so weird either. Then you can bring in like a Miley Cyrus. You can bring in a couple other singers to sing.
Yeah.
You bring in Sam, and it feels like at least it's not quite a weird, hey, we're missing a guy sort of tribute. You know what I mean? The band doesn't feel quite so weird.
Did they miss the window of doing that though? I mean, well,
COVID changed everything.
After you pass away, don't you have to do that within a certain amount of time if you're going to do a tribute? It's like, oh yeah, I forgot he died. I get it. It's Eddie Van Halen. We haven't forgotten he's died. We talk about him every week. But can you always do a celebration of life? Fucking 5 years after somebody dies, here's the party for them now. It seems a little weird. Removed, doesn't it? And I know it's not that long. Weird. It just seems like it's getting too far out there.
But remember, we've been going through the COVID situation. So I think, you got to almost shrink those 2 years down to like 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
And Wolfie is focused on his career right now. I mean, Wolfie is out there. He's recording. He's playing live. He's doing all of that. And he would have to curate the whole thing. Yeah.
And it's probably still raw. It's really, really raw for him to think about playing these songs again. He doesn't want to go and do that. I can't imagine. It's his dad. They were tight. They were close. So I can't believe we're fucking talking about death again this week. Jesus.
It happens.
Yeah. Apparently that's the theme.
All right. You want me to read the email? Then we'll take a break. I'll give you a couple of, I'll give you a minute to curate to make sure that you've got your list in the order that you want. Email. It just came in yesterday. Brother Rod, loving the Playpants podcast, just got caught up. I've listened to all 48. Jeez. I think that's all of them. Episodes in the truck. Makes the time go by fast. I can tell that you and Jason have known each other a long time. So here's my top 5 AC/DC. Now, he's not going to do every top 5 that we've ever done, but he said, here's my top 5 AC/DC songs. Hell's Bells, Long Way to the Top, Highway to Hell, Thunderstruck, Back in Black. It's a fucking quality list right there.
Good list right there. I like that.
It's a quality list right there.
AC/DC was a tough one. That was a good one.
My top, and I'll share with you my top 5 wrestlers. John Cena at 5, Hogan at 4, Ric Flair, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Undertaker at number 1. Undertaker is a Texas guy. Well, so Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay.
Okay, so far so good. I had a weird top 5 for you guys. How about websites? Think about it. There are billions of them. Would be cool to hear what sites you guys visit the most. While you're at it, how about top 5 porn stars? Thanks for the good times. Keep it up. Keep the rubber side down.
I like that one. See, that's a trucker term right there. Keep them wheels on the ground.
Keep the rubber side down, right?
Yeah. Keep the rubber.
So yeah, he's a trucker. So he's a trucker, and he got caught up on all the podcasts, which is super awesome.
It's awesome. Man. We'll keep.
I talk about that every day. We've got these podcasts. I'm talking about T-Mobile, and I'm like, more 5G bars in more places, guys. I got a podcast for you. Take it on the road. Download the podcast. Catch up.
Especially when you're driving, you go on a vacation or something like spring break or anything. You get in the car, you got 3 or 4 hours, dude. I'm a podcast guy now. I listen to a bunch of different shit on the road. It's way cooler. You learn something.
I still don't listen to podcasts. It's weird for a guy that does a podcast, a guy that's done 49 of them. I've never listened to a podcast from start to finish.
There's some good ones out there. I'm a history nerd, so I listen to a lot of those. You know, I want to learn something. I don't want to listen to 2 dipshits talking.
Yeah, like I would never listen to drivel like this.
I would never listen to this horse shit.
Top 5 internet sites?
Top 5 websites. Interesting.
Top 5 websites. All right. We're going to get to that in about 45 seconds. Wow. So we've already talked about New Orleans. We've talked about French Quarter Fest. Next 2 weekends then after that will be Jazz Fest. A lot of you are going to be heading over to New Orleans. If you get a couple of extra days, like I like to do, I'll be spending a couple of extra days in New Orleans. Yeah. Man, book the Pirates of the Quarter walking tour. Okay. These guys are out there. They're walking you around the French Quarter. It's amazing. You're partying, you're drinking, you're hanging out, and you're being led around by a pirate that is telling you real pirate history of the French Quarter. There's no other tour like it in the Quarter. You grab your drinks, you walk the streets, and you're hearing incredible stories of real tales, things that have really happened, and how the pirates, what their involvement was in the history of New Orleans, which is already just unbelievably rich in history. This tour is going to surprise you. There's so much more to New Orleans than just Bourbon Street. So set aside a little time, book online. Okay. Book online at piratesofthequarter.com, and all the social medias at Pirates of the Quarter. But yeah, you know, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. You, all your friends, it could be just you. It could be 2. It could be a 4-some, a 6-some, an 8-some, a 10-some. They don't care. They want you to walk around and have a good time. They can handle you, and they want you to party while you're with them. All right. So at Pirates of the Quarter, go to piratesofthequarter.com and book in advance if you know that you're heading to New Orleans.
And there you go. There's your number 1 favorite website, Rod. I think you've already figured this out. So you got 4 more. Great. I'm glad to hear it. Thanks.
Piratesofthequarter.com. I mean, it's
my
in
favorite
play
too. Wow, it's number 1 on my list. There you go. All right, 4 more to go. This is a great odd list because mine's boring as shit. I'm a fucking creature of habit, as most people are. We talk about music, right, on the radio all the time, Rod, and we talk about like, oh, you guys play the same songs over and over again because they're the ones that work. And most people's good Lord, I'm going to date myself. iPods or however you listen to your fucking music. You might have 10,000 fucking songs in your getup. You're listening to the same 50, 60 over and over again. You are. It's just how we do it.
Right.
You're going to the same websites every day, basically. You've got your habits. You got your patterns.
So I wanted to lay the foundation for this. So Google is the most visited website.
Sure.
92 billion monthly visitors.
That's it? Wow.
92 billion monthly visitors. Number 2
billion.
Guesses?
YouTube.
YouTube is number 2. 34.6 billion. What a drop off.
Boom. Yeah. Well,
92.
Dude, I hit Google probably 60 times a day.
I know. So 34 billion for YouTube. Next is,
Man, I'm just gonna float out Facebook, but I'm probably
it
wrong.
is Facebook.
What the
Facebook,
shit?
25 billion.
I'm good at this.
And then there's a massive drop off. Okay. So we went from 92 to 34, 25 billion for Facebook. And these are monthly visitors now. Billions monthly visitors. Twitter, 6.6 billion monthly visitors. Rounding out your top 5 is Wikipedia.
Yeah, I use it a lot to get some general knowledge on shit. You can't trust it always, but I do use a Wikipedia.
You can't trust it. For about a cup of coffee, we had a Wikipedia page. And then it was deemed that we weren't famous enough. There was information. You got to have links to other things that you've done. Somebody did it. Somebody did a really good job with it. And it was, for the most part, it was pretty accurate.
Wait.
They
Someone
took it
made
down.
for the podcast?
No,
for your show?
For the Rod Ryan show.
I was gonna say, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Wait,
No, you just said you wouldn't listen to this shit. Nobody's going to make a Wikipedia page for this. You wouldn't even listen to this. Who's going to look us up on Wikipedia?
well, I would look this up and go, wow, that's pretty cool. That sounds interesting. I should go listen to it now.
All right. So Wikipedia in at 5, Instagram at 6, some Chinese search engine at 7, Yahoo still getting 3.8 billion monthly visitors and at number 8.
Who the fuck?
X videos, 3.4 billion monthly visitors, and Pornhub rounds out your top 10.
Wow, I would have thought that. Well, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Those are your bigs.
Pornhub, I feel, is so widely, openly talked about.
I thought it'd have been higher.
What is going on with X videos? Don't think for a second I'm not going to X videos tonight.
I'll
to
tell
see
you right now.
what's
it's
so
gonna
much
be-
better about it.
It's about to get one more hit.
But why? I mean, why does everybody know Pornhub and I don't know what X videos is?
About to find out on somebody else's laptop. I ain't gonna be using mine. I guarantee that shit, dude.
You got to use an Apple. You got to use you got to use a Mac.
You know what you need these days? You almost want to have like a burner laptop.
But you got to have a Mac though to look at porn, right?
Yeah, because the other things just get crudted up with all kinds of
Mhm.
viruses and shit, man.
Yeah,
No, you need
I
a
won't look
burner
at-
laptop.
I won't look at porn on my PC.
No. It just destroys it immediately. No, you need a burner. Like, you have people that get like burner Twitter accounts. They can chime in on shit and you don't know who it is. You almost need a burner laptop for your porns.
Yeah.
'Cause otherwise, it just fucks up your day and then it junks up your computer. You're trying to do work. You're like, why is it so slow? Oh, that's right. I spent 4 hours last night on X videos or whatever it is.
Yeah, xvideos.com. I'll be spending some time on that after the cast. As a matter of fact, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, I got to check that. I can't fucking www.http.
All right,
let me
this
go
guy,
first.
you want me to go first?
No, I'll go first.
Okay, you go first.
Okay, I just want to say, I know normally you get mad when I go to 6. You get fucking lit up.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's a fucking top 5, Dick.
That's why you need that Weed Curious brownie. That's why you need that, because you got to mellow your shit down just a touch. You got to bring it down a notch. Okay,
I'm getting more and more curious by the minute with you.
for the weed, not for me, please, God, Lord.
You have
my
a tie on one of your numbers? Like, is it a tie for 5 or something?
No, dude, just let me say it. You're gonna be thrilled. My number 6, bubbling under, was actually links and guests at thebuzz.com. Whoa.
Come on.
Yeah, bro. See how you do it? That was a cheap plug for you. Come on, man. You gotta let me get in there.
Thanks, bro.
I'm here to help. Really, dude, mine are so fucking boring. It'll make you cry. So I will go quick. I am a creature of habit. I love getting up on the news in the morning because obviously look at the jobs we do. Got to know what the fuck's going on. I will run through CNN quickly.
So are you doing your numbers? Is this 5?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I kind of hit them all at the same time. But I will. This is an order. I hit CNN first. Then I hit there's a site in New Orleans called NOLA.com. Hit that. Got to know what's happening in the world in New Orleans. They're good. That's number 4. I'm a news guy. I'm on YouTube. I know that's a lame one. Everyone's on it, but I go to YouTube a lot. If you say, hey, in your top 5, you bust out a song, dude, you gotta go check out UFO. And I'm like, who the fuck are UFO? I go listen. I'm like, oh shit, I like UFO. Or any of these top 5 lists, I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about that song. After the podcast's over, instead of editing it and getting it posted, I spend the next 5 hours going through YouTube, listening to music, and I stay up all night.
YouTube's pretty damn addictive. It's pretty damn addictive. And it's amazing how I went to it. I started using it a ton when I had a kid.
Yeah.
And listening to songs and putting on videos and Baby Shark and that kind of shit. You start using YouTube a whole different way.
Mm-hmm.
And I never put the tablet down in front of my kid, or I'm not that guy. And it's going to happen eventually. We're just not there yet. We're just not doing that. Right. My kid is just not sitting on the phone and watching videos, but we'll watch some stuff together. If it's bath time, it's easy to put on Here Comes the Sun on my phone while we're taking a bath, or right. You Are My Sunshine. It's the easiest thing to do to get that song that you want right there.
It's immediate.
Because I'm not a big Spotify guy, and I get it. My company, I'm a huge iHeart guy, right? But I really don't have like a bunch of other things on there. So if I do need a song, YouTube's my go-to if I need a tune.
Just punch it up. That's all you do. And it's the easiest way to do it too.
And bonus, if you are looking, you got the video for the song that you want.
Which I love to do that because, back in the day, you had to wait for stupid MTV to play your video. And I didn't even realize that bands were still making videos a lot of times. So now it's like, if there's a song I love, man, I'm watching their video. I'm like, oh shit, fucking cool. Because the videos are great now. And then while you're on YouTube, you can always go to the Playpants podcast page and subscribe and and watch our version of the podcast on video on YouTube. That is number 3. Number 2, there's a website that has documented. Of course, you think I would have wrote it down. I'll add it into the links and shit on our socials. It's a New Orleans history website. And I just go every day, like today's April 20th, and I'll find out what happened historically on April 20th back in the day in New Orleans. It could be anything from, they raised the price of bread in 1720, or it's like there was a fire in a building or a ship sank on the river or a bridge collapsed or whatever. So I'm a nerd for that kind of shit. So I love this New Orleans history site. My favorite site, you're going to fucking laugh, dude. It's so lame. And I didn't put any of my porn stuff on here. Pornhub, I love all that shit. So don't get me wrong. My favorite website to go to, fucking Zillow.com, dude. And I've sent you links in the past. I'm like, dude, you got to see this house. It's fucked up.
Dude, Zillow, like house porn. It's a thing. They did a bit on SNL about it. It was, young, Zoomers.
Yep.
And they made a joke about like, hey, you want to come over? And it was, instead of Netflixing and chilling, it was like sit around and watching Zoom and what did you say? What Zillow?
Zillow.com.
And pulling up homes that they'll never be able to afford, but it's just looking at homes. People do this. It's a crazy phenomenon.
Dude, it's awesome. Like I will once a week because the listings come out on Tuesdays. Like I'm into it. Plus, I've rehabbed some houses over the years, so I kind of got more of an interest. Plus, New Orleans homes in the French Quarter are so badass. I mean, you've always sent me links like, dude, check this place out. I'm like, oh fuck, that's cool. Can't afford it, but it's cool. I'm just a nerd for the architecture and all that shit. So I will really look at a lot of anything that comes up for sale in the French Quarter. I'm looking at it because those aren't homes you get into very often because they stay in the families for years. And then the Garden District, all these mansions up and down St. Charles Avenue. But then you start punching up like, well, I wonder what a fucking house costs in Los Angeles. And then next thing you know, you're like down this rabbit hole of looking at houses that are $70 million.
Right.
27,000 square feet, 4 pools. And you're like, holy shit, look at this. Who the fuck can afford that? You're looking at the price for the monthly note and it's like $190,000 for the month. And you're just going, wow, who's got this money?
Yeah.
But you're right. I'm into house porn, dude. I'm a house porn freak. I love it.
I mean, that's how I got this house that I'm in now, har.com, and it's the Houston area realtors. I'm only interested. I don't look so much. It's not that fascinating to me of what's going on in New York City or in LA, but it's super interesting to me locally. And just to see the different areas and the har website, which it didn't make my top 5, but it was one of those that was bubbling under. And I had another one that you had mentioned. NOLA.com was bubbling under because I do kind of want to keep up on what's going on in New Orleans. But hard.com, it's amazing. And it's so easy. It's so user friendly. You just pull up a map and then you just start like pinging on houses. It's like, oh, I only want to look at houses, from 5 to 9 million. Let's see what's in this area here.
Why not? But it's fun.
Like, fuck you and your $9 million house. Okay. Yeah. Oil and gas guy. What are you doing? How do you get this money?
I sent you like a year ago. There's this house in Las Vegas. I don't know if you remember.
The underground house.
Completely underground. It's
I remember that. It was sick.
6,000 square feet, but it's like fucking this fortress. Like that's that survival house. And they got like a fake backyard, fake grass. They got fake sunshine painted on the roof.
And there was like one little like fucking submarine periscope to see what's going on up there. And then everything's underground. It's like, oh, my Amazon package is here. You're fucking looking through your periscope.
Like you're just like, there's grass. There's no house. Like I don't even know how you get in the fucking thing. And it's like weird. Like there's nothing.
It looks like a vacant lot.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing above ground to let you know that there's people living a couple of stories below.
But it's all like I-beams and really, nuclear bombs hit, you're good, at least for a little while at this place. Yeah, it's still for sale. It's been for sale for like years. Who the fuck wants to live in the cave, dude? That's crazy.
Yeah, you wouldn't get a lot of sunlight in that house. Anyway, I do like a lot of natural light, and that would not be good.
No. But dude, yeah, just punch up like Los Angeles and then set your filters to like the highest and then limit it, unlimited, and just fucking look at these houses, dude. It is crazy. And then when if I travel, and I haven't done that in a while, I'll go and look up those cities. Like I've been to, we like traveling over to London. If I come back home from London, I'm going to miss being in London, right? Because, you come back home and you're like, oh, I really
like, what if I just picked up and moved everything out there?
You start looking at flats and you're going, holy fuck, look at this. And you just, it kind of reminds you of the trip. And so, yeah,
it's pretty addicting.
Porn. Yeah, I'm a house porn guy. I love looking at house shit.
I had hard.com, Houston area realtors. I had that bubbling under for sure on mine.
But then I obviously look at a lot of like classic rock for the radio station shit, websites, and I'm always doing that. But that's just part of my day to day. You're probably like me. You're forced to do these things, so you're stuck looking at certain shit.
I go to Daily Mail every day.
Yeah, that's really good.
For if I need, because I got to put together all the websites in the morning, and looking at girls outside of the Instagram feature, looking at girls is always our biggest hit. And that's got multiple links on it every single morning. And at least 3 or 4 of them, I could always go to Daily Mail. I'll usually go the day before, just so looking at girls that takes me the longest to curate. But I'll try to grab 3 or 4 stories and get those plugged in. And then whatever happens tonight, then I'll be able to fill in the rest of it. But dailymail.com, I know it's like a UK website, but it's all, they have a US version of it. And, there'll still be, Prince Andrew or Prince Harry, whatever. There'll still be a bunch of that bullshit on there. But that I do go to every day. But it's not like, it's not one of my favorite things. I have never been more disconnected to celebrities than I am right now. Now I understand when people, you mentioned the Kardashians on the air. It makes people mad. It infuriates people. I'm kind of there. Like, I really think that celebrities are just pieces of shit like everyone else. There's absolutely nothing special about them. And I think about that scene in The Aviator where, Leo, he's playing, what's his name? Howard Hughes.
Howard Hughes, yeah.
And he was a brilliant man, and he made movies, and he invented the Cross Your Heart bra, and he countersunk all of the rivets into airplanes. He was a brilliant man. And he looks over at Cate Blanchett. I can't remember what actress she was playing, but he said, you're a movie star. That's all you are. You're just a movie star. Oof. And I'm like, wow. I go, fucking get her, Howard Hughes. Go get her, because you're fucking brilliant. You pee in fucking milk bottles. You're the man.
Yeah, I like that guy. But you think about it. Yeah, you get to play pretend every day. Don't get me wrong. Hard work. You got to have skill. You got to be
correct.
It's like you always hear it. It drives me fucking crazy. You always hear that term thrown around, the Hollywood elite. You realize that most of those people went out there fucking piss poor, and they made it because they worked their balls off, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that Hollywood Elite thing, that I'm like, come on, stop. Because a lot of them had to work their balls off to get where they got. Okay. They had to work their asses off. And then so many people don't make it. So that Hollywood Elite phrase, that drives me nuts. But on the same side of the coin, fuck them. No, they make pretend and they get a lot of money for it. So good for you. That's
and they
cool.
get web hits and they get, so that's a website that I go to every day. My top 5, in at number 5, I don't care. I work on it every day. TheRodRyanShow.com. You said it. Links and guests.
Self-promotion, mother.
Linksandguests.com will take you right to TheRodRyanShow.com. Yeah.
What the fuck?
That blog page it's a labor of love. I like doing it. I like curating stories. I like putting stuff on there. It's still something that I'm super passionate about. It's not a ho-hum thing for me. You know, it drives Chili crazy because I'm like, okay, let's move this around. Let's change this headline. That's every day for me. That's every day. That is
publisher.
It's something that didn't exist with our job for a long time. And now it's become such a huge part of our job. And this is another thing that I back it up when, you know, people will say, you know, well, I don't really listen to the radio anymore. I'm like, okay, well, do you go to websites? You know, do you listen to podcasts? Do you have a phone? Because that's radio,
right?
You know, links and guests, what I curate every morning, this right here, what we're doing, it's radio because it's going to go on my radio website. It's going to go on your radio website. It's radio. It's just not traditional, you know, sitting around in the living room and listening to your favorite radio show, listening to, you know, the Lone Ranger coming on. It's radio.
Sales. Yeah.
It's still radio. So I take great pride in the website. I take great pride in the fact that it is as popular as it is. It is the #1 blog page in our company. And I always throw Ryan Seacrest and Bobby Bones and everybody else under the bus. It's like, no, our website is the biggest. And I drive Chili and anybody that's ever had to work on it, I drive them absolutely mad.
But you're also programming that webpage. You're a publisher. Okay. So you want good content on the radio. You know what? You want good content on your website. Yeah. Is it extra work? Is it a pain in the ass? But if it's got your fucking name on it, it better be right.
Right.
So that's it. That's
all
it.
right. I'm
That's
at number
awesome.
5. Enough of that. Number 4, YouTube, for the reasons that we said. It really is just an unbelievable place.
You know,
it's unbelievable how much of what a resource it is when I need something. That's my first thought for new music. That's my first thought when somebody releases something.
Movie trailers.
And movie trailers. It's my first thought to go and look at something. It's weird. I never classify that as a social media site. It is. I just don't think of it. I think of more traditional social media, but It's the #1 social media platform. It's YouTube. It's that big. It's the interaction. It's the people commenting. And God, those comments get brutal. Jeez, you guys
can't read that shit. You cannot read comments, especially
you guys are bad, man.
Fuck. So YouTube is great because I built years ago a bar in my backyard, right? And don't know much about construction. I can do it, not great at it. A real carpenter would come to my bar and go, what the fuck is this, right? But I wanted to wire it.
Who put this death trap together?
This fucking thing should have already fallen down. Still standing, by the way. That being said, I wanted to wire it for electricity because I want to put a TV out there, the whole thing, right? So you think I could remember from dear old dad teaching me how to fucking wire up a light switch? No way. I opened a box. I looked at it. I went, yeah, I'm going to kill myself with this. There's no way I'm going to survive this situation. So what did I do? I'm like, wait a minute. I bet there's some jagoff that put a video together on YouTube. You know what I did? I went to YouTube in 5 minutes. I had a whole shit wired up. No problem. Step by step. I had a drain. You know, you got your bathroom sinks, his and her sinks going on. Well, those both converge to the middle pipe and then they go down out to your house, right? They go that, well, you know, my wife's pouring all her fucking hair down there because she's got long hair and it all gets balled up in there. So I could clean out my drain and her drain, but when they meet in the middle, I couldn't get to it. They're like, you got to go up in the attic, bitch, because there's a vent that vents that drain. Your house won't drain if you don't have air to let the water go through, right? They said, you got to come through the air vent down into that fucker, and then you can snake it out that way. I went, what the fuck? I found that out on YouTube. Dude, I saved a lot of money on a plumber and electrician.
My sister It's my mom and my sister, right? So you got two chicks over there. And she broke a light. She was trying to change a light bulb. She's pissed. She's yelling at my mom. My mom's yelling at her. Blah, 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 blah. She breaks the light bulb.
That's a fucking worst, man.
She's twisting it, and she twists the damn bulb right out of the socket.
Yep.
And the thing is still screwed in there.
Yeah, it's bad.
Do you think she calls her half a man brother? No. Because I'm not going to know what the hell to do. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I want to start hearing them yelling at me now. She goes to YouTube and says, okay, needle nose pliers, just bend it a little bit, boom, 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 you know, turn off the switch. She could do all that and got it. It's funny. She said, I went to YouTube to figure out what the heck to do. How am I going to get that light? The socket of the thread of the light bulb was still fully in the socket.
You can't get a hold of it.
She didn't know what to do.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
So, you know, she looked it up. So, yeah, YouTube's pretty amazing. That's my number 4. My number 3 is Blabbermouth. I really do think they do a great job on that website.
Yeah,
and, you know, you
good.
said, you know, you go to these websites and you talk about them all the time, and they do just kind of grab content. They do a good job of gathering content of, it could be guys said things on podcasts now. There's so many areas that they have to check to find this content.
Right.
You know, before it used to be, hey, this guy talked to this magazine and this, you know, this music channel. Now they do a great job of finding interviews. And a lot of times, you know, we'll see our buddy Meltdown, who works in Detroit. They'll run a transcript of his interview. They really comb a lot of different things it's a great place for rock news. It really is an awesome place for rock news. And you can kind of see who's talking to these people too. But I get a ton of, and sometimes it gets heavy. You know, sometimes, you know, I don't really give a shit what's going on with Gojira. You know, it's great that, you know, Sepultura's got a new album out. They'll keep you up on all that stuff, but they will cover just kind of mainstream rock stuff too, which I'm interested in. So it's a really good site for that. And I always look at that. So that's my number 3. My number 2 and my number 1, I mean, it's going to be a little hacky, but I look at Facebook. I do go to Facebook every day.
Oh yeah. Well,
I look at it every single day, and it's just, and I felt like I had to include it. I didn't include Google, okay, because that's more of a tool.
Right.
But I do waste a little bit of time on Facebook still. And I get it. Okay, Facebook, you know, old people, blah, blah, blah. I told you the numbers. Okay, Facebook, 25.5 billion monthly visitors. Okay, you fucking Twitter head, 6.6 billion. Did you see the drop off there?
Huge.
You saw the drop off?
Yeah.
So don't be so quick to say, okay, you know, that's pack that thing, you know, and it's in its grave. It's not.
Not even close.
It's not.
No
So I do. And, you know, I like keeping up. I like seeing what my friends in high school and, you know, and sometimes it's annoying. I get it. You know, there's fucking countdown to my wedding and now I'm pregnant and now here's my, you know, gender reveal. And I get it. I get annoyed like everybody, but I do look at it every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I do look at it every day. And then I can put stuff, and that's how I kind of get stuff to my mom and my sister too. You know, they want to see pictures of the kid and stuff. You know, if somebody doesn't like me posting pictures of my kid, then just turn me off. That's what I don't even post a lot, to be honest with you. Obviously, we're very busy with the show. We've got a Facebook page for the podcast. I don't post a whole lot myself, but I do look at other people's shit, and it just keeps me up on what's going on. I wouldn't know when anybody's birthday is if it wasn't for Facebook.
No, it makes me look like a fucking genius now. It's somebody's birthday, I'll text them. I won't say it on Facebook because that's easy.
Everybody knows you got the intel from your Facebook notification. Everybody knows.
The text just feels a little bit better. It feels like,
I agree.
Oh, look at fucking Ginty. He remember when Rodney's birthday was sometime in August. Yeah. No.
And my number one website, Amazon Smile, baby. Number one. I'll tell you what.
Dude,
I don't know. I don't know where it. I don't know where. Yeah. Well, Amazon Smile, sure, for the plug, but Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't know quite what a shopaholic is. And I would never even admit that about myself. But I do like to look at some shit. I do like to look at some stuff. It's
how much do you look and how much do you pull the trigger? Because I will look at a ton of shit. I will have
me
shit
too.
in my cart, and then I'm just like, I don't fucking need that. Like, no, and I just punt. I do that a lot.
I'm like, yeah, but fucking hey, man, that dehydrated food would be so good, man. The dehydrated pineapples. I need that food dehydrator. I don't need anything else in my kitchen. I certainly don't need anything else on the counters. And if it doesn't sit on the counter, guess what? I'm not going to use it. So I'm not buying it. The food processor that we have is sitting there. Now, the one thing that we do use, I'll say, is the air fryer. I use the air fryer. That thing does work. No, the wings aren't as good. I'm not prepared to get into that right now. The wings are just not as good. Nothing's going to beat anything deep fried, but the air fryer is good. But yeah, Amazon, I do. I look at Amazon every day.
Wow.
I look at Amazon every day.
That's like my house porn.
I can't think of a day that I don't glance at Amazon for something. I don't know why I would. It's the Amazon guy comes here a lot. We have, I'm friendly with all the neighbors right here. And when the guy pulls up in the middle, we all take bets. Okay.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Okay, is the wife going to get more than you? And okay, is my house going to get more than, and we don't always win, but we win a lot. We win a lot that we get the most packages. It's just too damn easy.
Yeah.
It's too unbelievably easy.
Because it's hooked in with like Whole Foods now too, is like my wife's very good. She'll order like her makeup and shit off of Amazon. So we get, toilet paper and all these other weird things that you can get way cheaper this way. I don't know if it's still toilet paper, but anyway, there's things you can get.
But it's certainly more convenient, and my time is money.
Right. So you're saving time. And that's way more important at the end of the day.
But that's since the pandemic, man. My wife is just completely off of grocery shopping, and I still go grocery shopping. It's almost a social thing for me. It's again why I like going to Facebook. I just want to see people that are alive and out, and it's a cross section of people. And there's always something to talk about the next day on the air that you saw. Right. I don't mind going grocery shopping. I really don't. Some people I know have sworn off of it since the pandemic. So I don't. I'm not getting all my groceries delivered to the house.
I don't get delivered.
I'm out of that game. I'm going grocery shopping.
We do a lot of the curbside. Like we'll order it online, show up, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I'll go in.
Bam.
I do. I want to go in. And again, I'm a busy guy like everybody, but I do want to go in and shop. I
still do occasionally. If there's like, if she's like, if the wife's like, hey man, you need milk, we need orange juice, we need this, we need that. Cool. I'll go get it. Cause I don't mind a quick little run because I will attack a grocery store. I will attack it. I will be up and down those aisles. I'm like, move, you're old, move, get out of the way, smash. I love smashing carts. I don't give a shit. Move your shit out of the way. I will move your fucking cart.
But those pro shoppers now, right? They've got those huge carts. They're in the fucking way.
Yep.
And they're just
fuck them.
Smash them. It does kind of stink. It does kind of stink. New Orleans is a different experience, man. New Orleans had like smaller grocery stores.
I love those mom and pop stores.
Yeah, they had a lot of mom and pops. Shout out to Dorganax. Bromart. I used to go to those and I loved them. Now we have, everything's just giant here. The HEB, it's weird how much people love HEB. I mean, we have Kroger, we've got Randall's, but they love it because it's a Texas company. It's like how everybody loves Whataburger here. When you're in Texas, you want to support Texas. You love anything Texas. It's crazy, the love for HEB.
Interesting.
Huh. Oh my God. It's just, people love it. They absolutely love it. I've never seen when we were back in Buffalo, I don't know that Tops was based out of, I don't even know if Tops was based out of Western New York, but that was the big grocery store where Jason and I grew up. And I don't remember anybody like loving a place.
You don't love a grocery store. It's a grocery store.
But Dinah used to talk about Publix, Publix. And she would rave about it. She loved it. And it was a grocery store.
Yep.
Just a weird thing. I think people used to rave about Whole Foods. I don't go in there. I mean,
Publix. There's one in Florida. I go over to Pensacola a lot in the summertime to the beach.
It was in Florida. That's right. It's a Florida place. What do you know about Publix?
fucking, it's clean as a whistle. They like friendly as shit. There's a lot of old people working. It's like retirees that are working still. What do they want to do? Fucking talk, man. They're like, hey, where are you from? You know, it's like, but they keep it moving. They're working, they're talking. And then there's like that old dude bagging the groceries. And then, hey, do you need help getting out your car? I'm like, no, Blue, I got this one, man. Thanks a lot, dude. Like, it's like kind of that old school Mayberry vibe in there, and it's clean and it's fresh and they got everything and it smells good. And it's not all dingy and shit. Publix, I will stand by that. Publix is badass. I like going to Florida and like, oh, Publix, sweet. It's awesome.
It's like how people here brag about Buc-ee's. Do you know anything about Buc-ee's?
Yeah. There's one on the way to Florida, and I never stop.
They love Buc-ee's. You know, everyone here loves Buc-ee's. But so yeah, Amazon, my number one website.
Yeah, no, I get there a lot.
Like that, it's my number one. But it is.
Interesting.
I may be a shopaholic. I may be. Are you a Reddit guy at all?
I've ended up there, but it just gets real weird. And it's like, you don't fucking trust anything on it.
I don't think I know how to do it. I don't think I'm doing it right. I don't get what people get out of Reddit. I mean, you have to be active within the website.
Right.
And then there's subreddits. And then there's, you know, I hate Rod Ryan subreddits that I've been told that are in existence. And I don't get it. And if that's your thing, that's your thing. But I never once am drawn to go to that website for anything, nor do I really get referenced there. Like, hey, Rod, did you see this thing? You know, I get sent TikToks and all these things. Never once does somebody send me. It's like they don't want me there either. But it's because the people that are into Reddit, dude, they're into it. They're Redditors. They do the website.
Jesus. But see, that's the thing. Like you talked earlier about the weed guy who's just in the weed, man. There's people who do these Redditing or Redditors. That's what they're into. That's what they spend their time doing.
Dude, I'm at a bar before. It was years ago. It was years ago, but they had a table reserved, and it was a Reddit group. They had a table at Sherlock's. I'm telling you, if I'm lying, I'm dying. It was a while ago, but yeah. I don't know if it was some subreddit. I don't know if it was some fucking Harry Potter Reddit. I don't know what it was, but these guys were Redditors. And, you know, there was an air about it. There was an air that they had like, we're Redditors. Get away from well, you're not on Reddit.
They're smarter than us. That's why.
Maybe.
That. Yeah. No, I can't.
What in your life do you spend on Barstool? Where are you with Barstool Sports? Anything at all?
You know what? I follow them on Twitter and they're great. They do a great job. I don't go to their website. I may click on every 10th thing I see. They do a great job. I will say that's what radio stations should be doing. What Barstool's doing is what radio stations should be doing. They're doing a great job with their content.
They're amazing at what they do. There's no doubt about it. And it's like, it's not just following them. Then you're following El Presidente, and then you're following this website, and then this podcast, and this everything else. It's amazing what they've built. I just don't go there a lot. No. I just don't find myself just going and hanging out. But like Alex, he's a sports guy on my show. You know, he loves it, always knows what's going on. And you can get lost in just the content that they put out. But that's just something that's wildly popular. And it's just, I don't know, you know, there's the guy taking the bite of pizza and it's like the 1 bite challenge, but then he's eating half the piece every time. I guess that's the joke, you know.
Okay.
Have you not seen Portnoy eating the pizza?
No, I have not seen that.
Then you do less Barstool than I do. And I do next to none. If you don't know the guy eating pizza, that's like one of the
I just don't care, man. If I'm on a computer, I'm doing work, I'm doing this podcast.
Right.
I still am a firm believer of get the fuck outside and go talk to humans. I still, as much time as I spend on my screen doing social media and radio shit, man, if I find myself going down a rabbit hole on YouTube, all of a sudden I'll snap out of it. I'll close it all up. I'll throw it away, or, you know, just step away and I go. I'm like, okay, what are you fucking doing? You are wasting time. I'm wasting time. I'm not going to sit around on Reddit.
You just said yes. And then I got to look at your monkey ass for another 2 hours every Wednesday because you said, hey, let's do this podcast and let's do it on YouTube so we can spend more time on the computer.
I know, what a fucking bunch of dipshits. And then I don't even listen to it. I don't even fucking champion the damn thing. I'm like, I wouldn't listen to this shit.
Say fuck Bing. I don't want to use you. Okay. Stop trying to worm your ass in. Google's got it. I just told you 92 billion monthly visitors. Fuck Bing. I know I'm a PC guy. I'm using Windows and they're trying to fucking worm in all the time. Do you want to use Bing? Every now and then they'll just pop in there. You want to use Bing here? No, dude. I'll let you know if I want to Bing something. I'll let you know. Don't come over here anymore.
But they recognize there's such a fucking huge chunk of pie out there that Google's got cornered. They're like, I gotta get.
They're a little aggressive for me.
I don't need it. I don't want
it. Bing, just let you know I'm here. If you want to Bing something, shut up, Bing. I don't want you. Never. I'm never gonna Bing something.
I'm not either. I'm a creature of habit. As I bet you know what, if everyone starts chiming in on their top 5 websites they go to, you're gonna find out you're a creature of habit and you're just kind of going to the same ones all the time, basically, unless you're starting to search for furniture or you're looking for a pool or something like that. But we're all creatures of habit. We're gonna stay in our lanes. You're gonna look at the ones you just listed. I guarantee I'll probably be doing some house porn sometime tonight or tomorrow.
I'm doing real porn, X videos. I'm gonna see what that's all about.
I may have to take a look at that for a quick second. I only need about a minute and a half. You know what I mean? That's all it's gonna take. Rod, any final thoughts? I got things to do, bro. I got shit to do. Okay, we can't have this thing go on for 4 hours.
You're my superhero guy.
Okay.
Is the Batman good?
Well, I wouldn't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. I watched it.
Okay, good. Was it good?
I don't know, dude. I just don't think I don't get from those movies what you guys get from them. Now you're sharing them with your boy. That's a totally different experience. If your kid's happy, you're happy. If you guys are sharing that, and you told me that you like fucking Thor or whatever, you like that shit.
That shit. Yeah, the Marvel stuff. Cool.
Okay. So the guy, the Twilight guy is good.
Yeah.
It's dark. And when I say it's dark, like it's fucking nighttime all the time. Okay. It's dark. That's what it's literally dark and drippy and rainy all the time. It's like that guy get a little, does the sun come out in Gotham ever?
No.
I get it. You're making a movie. It's moody. Pretty cool seeing the Nirvana song. I'm told that it's coming, or I finally finished it. So it plays 2 times, dude, almost in its entirety.
Wow.
Plenty of room because it's a fucking 3-hour movie. Yeah. I had to watch it in 2 parts. Yeah, it's good. It's good. For some reason, it doesn't trigger that thing that it does for so many people that are loving all the superhero stuff. I'm not shitting on it. The genre isn't for me. It's good. It's just too long. 3 hours. I'm not saying that it was boring, but the Twilight guy was good. He was believable.
Robert Pattinson, yeah.
The jawline, he's not overly buff or anything like that.
He's a hell of an actor, actually.
I'm hoping that you were going to tell me that you watched it and you thought it was awesome. It's not awesome to me.
The problem I have, and I came up through the Marvel universe the last 15 years when it all started. I watched the first Iron Man. I was like, holy fuck, this is a great movie. I just like the movie. I didn't know.
I wish they did that for me, that I could just get lost in it.
And then there's the stories.
Lost in it. It's just like, okay, it's all right.
Right. But the Batman's tough because I liked all the Christian Bale movies. I thought that was those movies were great. You had Heath Ledger.
The one was great, right? Is that the best one?
The one with Heath Ledger is, yes, because it's so fucking
it's the best one, right? Like, that's a really good movie.
Right. You don't even have to like Batman. It's just a good movie, right?
Okay. I can recognize a good Batman movie then. Like, I'm right. I'm right? I'm correct. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, this wasn't as good as that.
No, and I just like they've made Spider-Man 50 times, and I'm like, okay, but the kid who's doing Spider-Man now, those are good movies too. They're doing it. At first, I was like, what the fuck, really? And now
I'm not going to watch it, so it doesn't matter. But this new Spider-Man, did you see it? Where the Tobey Maguire's in it and the other guys are in it? Is it good?
yeah, it was really good. It was. I didn't love it. Everyone's saying it's such a great movie. I thought it was really good. It wasn't. It didn't kill me though. It wasn't like awesome, but I think I'm kind of burnt because it's always.
See, I'm wondering when the fatigue's going to come in on this superhero stuff.
Like all the stuff on Disney Plus, I didn't watch any of those things, the Lokis and the whatever the chick is with the ball of fire and all this shit. I didn't watch any of that stuff really because I was like, I'm done. I'm out, man. They finished the series of all the Marvel movies. I'm good. Now it's just getting off into weird shit. And I'm like, who gives a fuck now? And it got to be even towards the end of all those Marvel movies, it was just formulaic. It was like, okay, say a funny line, ha ha ha. Now let's go smash the shit out of everybody with a really kick-ass fight scene. And after a while, you're just like, okay, I've been watching fucking the same thing happen again and again throughout this movie. Funny line, fight scene, funny line, fight scene. And it's like you got to top the fight scene every time. Well, by the end of it, you're sitting there for 20 minutes watching just a bunch of shit beat the shit out of each other. I'm like, fucking bored.
All right.
You know, it's gotten to that point for me where it's like, tone it down.
I tried to watch the Batman. I tried to be cool. I tried to be one of the cool kids to watch these things. And I don't know when I'm going to give another one a chance. And I know people are going to tell me, Rod, you got to watch this one though, but you got to see, I mean, yeah, I thought Deadpool was pretty good. I thought that was a good movie. I thought it was entertaining. I liked it.
I only saw the first one. I didn't dive into it. It just felt, I don't necessarily love superhero movies. I just liked the Marvel story from Iron Man, Captain America, through all that. I just got caught up into it, and they did a great job with all those. The rest of it, it's kind of like, okay, cool, whatever. A 12th Batman, I don't fucking need it. I get it. I got it. He's dark. He's moody. He's going to kill some bad guys. Super. Thanks. I've already seen it.
All right, my weed curious friend. Final thoughts.
I really don't have any at all this week. My final thoughts are just like looking forward to continually getting out because, God damn, there's so many concerts coming here, dude. If I was to go to every show that was coming here now with all the venues we have, I would never be home again. Like there are so many shows. And I'm sure the Houston's the same way. Like it's overwhelming how many shows are coming here right now. And it's like, some nights there's 2 different shows I want to go to at the same fucking time. I'm like,
you going to any of them?
I'm not going to any of them either. I got to fucking do a podcast with you every week. So I have Wednesday night shows are out. And then now I've gotten caught up. I get myself caught up in the NBA. The New Orleans Pelicans started off the year 1-12. Dude, they started off 1-12. Good night. Game over. You're 1-12. Your season's over. Okay. No, they end up going to the play-in for the NBA, won those 2 games. Now they're the 8th seed. They're playing the number 1 seed, the Phoenix Suns. They won last night, and it's this weird Cinderella story kind of underdog thing happening now. And the city's starting to light up on fire, and it's starting to get real cool. Now, chances are they're going to get their asses beat here down the road pretty quick.
Yeah, but playoffs,
it's fucking
city's team. It brings a city together.
It's so great. And I'm not a huge NBA guy, or never was, but the last couple of years I got into it because my kid likes to watch it. So we're like watching the games, talking about it and stuff. And with the playoffs, a team that's not supposed to be here, you're playing it on every day as a gift. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's really fun to watch because they kind of look like they don't give a fuck either. And they're having fun. The other team's all like serious, and these guys are just like, fuck yeah, let's throw the ball around. It's great. So it's like kind of a neat little thing that's happening here in New Orleans. So there's a lot going on, man. And I'm just trying to enjoy some of it. And then next week, Rod, I should have some breaking news. Tease. Dude, that's how we do it. We drop a tease and we walk away.
Really?
A big breaking news.
Breaking news next week?
Breaking news next week. Big announcement next week on the podcast, Rod. Big fucking announcement. Big time.
You're heroin curious, are you?
Actually, no, not really.
It's like, okay, well, here's what I did, guys. I took Rod's advice. I went out in my backyard and I booted some black tar heroin. And you know what? Turns out I love it.
Turns out it's really fucking
It's awesome.
good.
Anybody got a guy?
Bad news. That's got some issues. Weed, okay, I can live with some weed, right? Yeah. So anyway, yeah, no real final thoughts, but I just kind of want to go down that channel of just shit happening, dude, and I can't keep up with it now. It's like we went from doing nothing, now I'm like fucking stacked.
I'm going to go see. I'm going just to be a part of it. But Everclear is going to be there on Saturday. We're doing this Bikes on the Bayou thing, so there's a couple of us that are going to go to that. And then I think I'm going to go out next Tuesday night, dude, to go see Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. He's one of my favorites. He just instantly became one of my favorites. Yeah. He's got great ties to New Orleans. He's not from there, but man, he's just such a fucking throwback, such a great live. And when he's with the Night Sweats, it's just lights out. It's such a great show. So yeah, I think I'm going to go to see him on a Tuesday night. So at this time next week, I could be a little hungover.
Well, that's okay. We'll soldier through. We the podcast, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves for this, as you can tell by listening. Oh, wait, I can't remember the guy's name. I wish I should have dug it up, but he made a comment. There was a comment the other day. I think his name, I think it was Paul maybe. And he made a cool, he chimed in on the top 5 and he listens all the time and he always makes comments. And it was funny. In one of the comments, he said, he goes, hey, I love the rapport between you and Rod and Jason. Rod must be the professional because anytime he coughs or anything, I'll see him on YouTube turn around and he obviously turns his microphone down and he'll cough and pot it back up. And he goes, and Ginty just doesn't give a fuck. He'll just cough right into the microphone. I'm like, that's how professional. I will lean over. I will go over here. Okay. I'm away from the microphone. That's good enough. That's all you're getting out of me. I ain't turning shit down. Dude, I try to be as real as I can. Okay. I want to give you the warts and all things. So that's what you get. So I guess, Rod, you're the professional here and I'm not.
Thanks for keeping it real in the field.
I do my best. This has been great, man. I've enjoyed this one tonight. This has been a good one.
All right, guys. Thank you for checking this out. I hope you do. Hope you are watching on YouTube. Drop us a comment. Top 5 websites. Sure. If you want to catch up like that trucker, you know what? He had a weird, I didn't even get his name. So hopefully he hears this. Let me know who you are. I know we got a ton of truck drivers that listen to the show here in Houston. So he didn't say where he was, but yeah, keep the rubber side down. I'll leave it on that today.
I like that one, man. That's good. I love the old trucker. And truckers, dude. Okay, time out. We're not done yet. Hold on. Fuck, this happens every week. Dude, truckers are the fucking coolest, man. Because all you think about, anytime I hear someone say trucker, who do you think of? Fucking Eastbound and Down, baby. The Snowman. Jerry Reed.
Absolutely.
The Snowman. You know what? The bandit had to block for him, had to run block so he could get that beer from Texarkana over to fucking Atlanta or whatever it was. I think
they're thirsty in Atlanta and there's beer in Texarkana.
Get that Coors beer. You can't take that across state lines, by the way. Anyway, that's what I think. I always think of truckers as just fucking no nonsense. Don't fuck around. Just cool guys. Got to have the hat on, Or
Word.
Another reference that really is going deep. Remember the movie Over the Top? Sylvester Stallone, he was the arm wrestler.
You got to turn your head around backwards when you talk about it. You can't even turn your head around backwards.
And he arm wrestles and he goes to Vegas. His kids. It's not a very good movie, but it's a great
movie.
Yeah, it's okay.
Sammy Hagar's on the soundtrack. His name's Tank Abbott.
Great song though.
Tank.
Winner Takes It All. It's a great song.
Hawk.
Seriously?
Tank? I don't know. Hawk. There's a hawk and a tank in there. I don't know.
Either way, there you go. Those are my trucker stories. That's all I got. Anyway, cool. Big rigging.
Thank you. We're out of here.
Let's go. It's time. Put on pants.
Find us wherever you listen to podcasts. See us on our YouTube channel and follow our social media pages at PlayPantsPod.